The Alfa Romeo 8C2900 is a car from another time, born nearly 90 years ago. It hails from an age when motor racing was a matter of national pride. The machines built for it were as beautiful as they were brutally effective. Even today, standing here in 2025, many people, myself included, will state with unwavering conviction that this might just be the greatest pre-war sports car ever conceived. It possesses a rare combination of mechanical genius and aesthetic perfection that few, if any, have ever managed to replicate. It was not just a car, it was a statement of intent. Alfa Romeo produced the magnificent 8C2900 for an astonishingly brief period from 1935 until 1938. These were fleeting years, a short window of time before the world was plunged into the darkness of war. Yet within that narrow time frame, Alfa Romeo managed to create a car that would leave an indelible and lasting mark on automotive history. The company's objective was crystal clear: to build a fast, durable, technologically superior car for the most demanding racing circuits in the world. Engineers, mechanics, coach builders collaborated with a singular vision, resulting in a machine that was both a formidable racing weapon. The car was born from the crucible of motorsport. Its DNA was pure competition. It was the direct descendant of Alfa Romeo's victorious Grand Prix racers, adapted with just enough civility to be considered a sports car for the road, albeit one for only the wealthiest and most discerning clientele. Alfa Romeo's racing program, managed by a young Enzo Ferrari, needed a dominant force for sports car endurance racing, and the 8C2900 was the answer. Its list of victories is a roll call of the most grueling and prestigious events of the era. It conquered the Mille Miglia, it tamed the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and it dominated the torturous Targa Florio, proving its mettle time and time again. These races were not the sanitized, safety-conscious events we know today. They were brutal tests of man and machine, run on public roads that were often unpaved, poorly marked, lined with perilous obstacles. At the very core of the 8C2900's formidable character lies its engine, a mechanical masterpiece conceived by the legendary engineer Vittorio Jano. This 2.9-liter straight-eight engine was a thing of wonder, a jewel of precision engineering that set a new standard for performance. While its displacement might seem modest by today's hulking standards, its output and sophistication were anything but. It featured dual overhead camshafts and two superchargers, advanced technology for the 1930s that allowed it to breathe deeply and produce immense power. The engine ran with a smoothness and balance that belied its complex design, delivering a torrent of torque that made the car astonishingly quick. This was not merely an engine, it was a work of art cast in alloy. But one particular fact, now etched in motorsport legend, truly illustrates its capability. During the 1938 Mille Miglia, driver Clemente Biondetti, piloting an 8C2900B, averaged an incredible 132 miles per hour over a 50-mile stretch of the Brescia-Bergamo autostrada. For 1938, on public roads with period tires and brakes, this was a feat of almost unimaginable speed and bravery. It's a statistic that single-handedly demonstrates the sheer dominance of Jano's engine. Even when stripped from the car and placed on a stand, the 2.9-liter straight-eight is an object of intense fascination. Its polished cam covers, intricate plumbing for the twin superchargers, and the sheer visual length of the block speak to an era of craftsmanship that is long gone. Every component was meticulously crafted and assembled with a watchmaker's precision. To see the engine alone is to understand the depth of care and engineering prowess that Alfa Romeo poured into each and every car. While the engine provided the soul-stirring power, the chassis of the 8C2900 provided the composure and control necessary to deploy it effectively. Even without its sensuous bodywork, the bare rolling chassis is a remarkable piece of engineering that car enthusiasts and historians rightly revere. The latter frame was strong and rigid, providing a stable platform for the suspension and powertrain. This structural integrity was paramount, as it prevented the chassis from flexing under the immense forces generated during hard cornering and acceleration, allowing the suspension to do its job properly. It was the strong backbone that supported the car's incredible dynamic capabilities. The suspension itself was incredibly advanced for the 1930s, featuring independent suspension at all four corners on the later B models. This was a significant departure from the crude solid axles used by many of its contemporaries. Independent suspension allowed each wheel to react to bumps and imperfections in the road surface without affecting the opposite wheel, resulting in vastly superior road holding and a more compliant ride. This gave the 8C2900 a crucial advantage on the often terrible road surfaces of racing circuits like the Targa Florio, enabling the driver to maintain speed and control where other cars would be skittering and bouncing. While the mechanical underpinnings of the 8C2900 were a work of engineering genius, it was the coachwork that gave the car its breathtaking beauty and its immortal shape. Many different bodies were fitted to the 8C chassis by various Italian carrozzerie, minimalist racing barchettas, opulent closed coupes. However, it is the work of Milan's own Carrozzeria Touring that is most famously and inextricably linked with the 8C2900. Touring pioneered the famous Superleggera, or super-light construction method. This involved creating a framework of small-diameter steel tubes that conformed to the desired shape of the body. Then the metal skeleton was clad in thin, lightweight aluminum panels, hand-beaten to fit perfectly. The result was a body both incredibly light and remarkably rigid, allowing complex, flowing curves impossible with traditional body-on-frame construction. One celebrated example is the 8C2900B Lungo Spider. The Lungo chassis gave Touring an extended canvas. The long front fenders flow into the doors before kicking up over the rear wheels in a continuous arc. Extra length behind the cockpit creates a dramatic, tapering tail. The enduring legacy of the Alfa Romeo 8C2900 is built on this rare and potent combination: documented racing history, timeless physical beauty. It is one of a handful of cars that you can legitimately admire as a static exhibit in a museum one day, and then imagine thundering down the Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans. The next many cars become famous for one singular attribute, some for their speed, others for their styling, and still others for their engineering. The 8C2900 is one of the very few that achieved legendary status in all three disciplines, simultaneously a trifecta of excellence that secures its place in the automotive pantheon. Collectors, enthusiasts, and museums prize these cars with an intensity reserved for the most significant artifacts of the 20th century. Very few were ever built. Estimates range from 32 to 40. For anyone with even a drop of petrol in their veins, the Alfa Romeo 8C2900 is a machine that inspires dreams. It is a car that makes you want to learn more, to see one in the flesh, to experience its presence firsthand. Car enthusiasts fantasize about hearing the visceral bark of its straight-eight engine echoing off stone walls on a mountain pass, or seeing the reflection of a setting sun glide across its impossibly perfect curves. The 8C does more than just impress. It stirs a deep emotional response. The Alfa Romeo 8C2900 is, and always will be, a car that beat time itself. A perfect synthesis of speed, style, and spirit.